Good morning, my lovely people. This is Terry Fields, personal injury attorney here in the metropolitan Atlanta area, coming to you with another video. Now, the video today is going to be all about money. How do lawyers get paid? Why am I sitting up here doing videos? Why do I want your business? Why do a lot of personal injury attorneys want your business? Why does anybody want anything? Why did Jeff Bezos start Amazon? Why did Elon Musk start his businesses and Tesla and SpaceX and all of that stuff? Why do you go to work every day? Money. Let's talk about money. How do lawyers get paid? How do I get paid as an attorney? How does the money work? Also going to talk to you about our little book here, Howard Hughes, based on that little entry that we read together yesterday. I'm a little afraid to keep going, but we're going to keep going. Wanted to see how you're doing. I'm really enjoying doing these videos. I am looking forward to replenishing my makeup stock. I am running low. Looks like I'm out of my highlight, what I'm calling my highlight foundation. And I'm going to have to replenish that soon. I am have my cart going on Sephora right now for some primer. And I need to add some foundation to that. So looks like that I am running out. Okay, so we're going to start with eyes. You know, I really need to organize myself before I roll the camera, but I'm always pressed and ready to go. And I'm just going to give up on this darn primer. Even though I have plenty of primer in there, I can't get the top off, and I'm not going to cut myself or just give up on that. Okay, so what are we talking about today? How do lawyers make their money? How does a personal injury attorney such as me, how do we make our money? Okay, personal injury cases are done on what's called a contingency fee basis. So if you are at home, you're watching daytime TV, you will probably notice that all of the attorneys say, no, you don't pay me anything. We don't get paid unless you win. That's what's called a contingency fee basis. And let me just do the background. There are a couple of ways that lawyers get paid. You can pay a lawyer what's called a flat fee. Let's say in my former life, I was a estate planning attorney, so I did a lot of drafting of documents like wills, advance directives for healthcare, financial power of attorney. So I would, usually I know exactly what I'm in for. It's going to take a set amount of time. I'm going to draft these documents for these folks. So I'm going to charge what's called a flat fee. So I charge a couple of $1,000s to draft a basic estate planning package. Flat fee, let's just say it took me a little bit shorter time than I thought. I still get that same flat fee. If it took me more time than I thought, I still get that same flat fee. That is what's contemplated in a flat fee contract. Then also you have the hourly rate, which I remember a couple of years ago, a friend was telling me about this book that detailed how the hourly fee came in and revolutionized the practice of law, because everything in the past had been done by flat fee. But lawyers started to understand, hey, you know what? Sometimes it takes me longer to do these things. So why don't I go ahead and charge by the hour, which means that it's set an hourly rate and charged by the hour, bill the client. With that, a retainer is required, which is a couple of $1,000s, which gets the attorney started, which they can draw down on immediately, and then just show the client, this is how, like say a $10,000 retainer and my hourly fee is about $500 an hour. Then you can show the client, this is how I drew down on the retainer that you paid me, and this is what's owed and all that. So that is the hourly rate. And actually, a lot of defense lawyers charge that way. I started out in defense firms, and I was charging, you know, having to keep my time so that my time could be charged on an hourly rate. I am just about done with this one. I think I'm going to move on to a different color. I don't want to hold it up so you can see it because it's running out. Ooh, a little darker. So anyway, that is the hourly rate. But what we're going to talk about today mostly is contingency fee. This is how I get paid as an attorney. So I am just like those attorneys that you see on TV when they say, oh, you don't owe me anything unless we win. You don't pay unless we win. Yes, that is true. It's called a contingency fee, which just means this. This is the contingency. A contingency is This doesn't happen unless this happens. So it means that you don't pay me unless this happens. And what is that? Unless we win. So this is why attorneys are very, very selective in their cases. So if you have an attorney interested in your personal injury case, you know it's probably one that he or she can get paid on. And it's probably one that is a good case, because we're not just going to be willy-nilly investing our time in cases that are not going to be successful for you. Okay, let me just say this. Attorneys, being an attorney is very expensive, especially these contingency fee cases. Your case is very expensive. That's why, okay, let me just say it like this. There are some cases that you can handle on your own. And if you can handle it on your own, we're going to recommend that you do so. An attorney would recommend that you do so. So these would be the cases when you're really not injured that much. Probably the insurance company is going to pay for your car to get fixed. If that's what's all, if that is all that's on the line, you may want to handle this on your own. And me, let me tell you, I am more than happy. I have spent a lot of time on the phone with folks in the past, just telling them how to handle their own case. And I'm more than happy to help you with that too. Because my getting involved is going to be expensive. It's expensive for me. It's expensive for you. And it's not going to be worth your while unless there are certain things that have happened in your case, like you have a significant personal injury. The insurance company is trying to mess with you and trying to say, oh no, you were actually liable for that wreck. And you know what, y'all? I have decided to do my concealer on top of my foundation because of yesterday. How good I think that looked. So yeah. So if you can handle the case on your own, please do so. And by all means do so. And I think attorneys will tell you just straight up, look, it's not going to be worth getting me involved. I'm expensive. Attorneys are expensive. They're going to cost a lot. So I've had people contact me with, I've got this dent in my bumper, and if you want to pay the attorney all of your recovery, by all means. But I don't think you want to do that. Let me go with the highlight first, which this is the one I think is out. Yeah. My highlight color is completely out. So again, we're going to not fool with it anymore. If it's out, it's out. So this is my darker color, which looks like it's going out too. So I got my main foundation in my darker color, and I like to use it to cut and go around. Okay. Make it, you want your, if you just look at cartoons, sometimes you can see how they contour the cartoon's face. They put the darker stuff up under here because if you got like a double chin or something going on, you want to darkness kind of camouflage itself. Okay, so I think I'm going to contour with the concealer and then put the powder on top. Even though my powder is colored, but we're just going to do a little experiment today. This is what makes this fun. Okay. So, yeah. So why is it expensive for an attorney, for a law firm to get involved in these kind of cases, in personal injury cases? Well, remember, we talked about bills yesterday. We talked about the different kind of medical bills that medical providers might contact you, how those are paid by health insurance. If you did not watch that video, please stop this one right now and go and watch that one. I kind of break it down for you 100% how bills are paid. And if you have any questions, if I didn't cover something and you're looking for an explanation, please let me know and I'll be happy to go back and revisit that conversation. So that is how medical bills are paid. But to get the medical bills, let's say you went in, you got treatment, medical records are generated, medical bills are then generated. To order the medical bills and to order the records costs money. And if you ever had a car wreck, your attorney's not asking you, hey, Emory, the hospital, they're asking for $50 to get these medical records. No, the attorney just fronts the bill. The attorney gets the bill. If there are any experts that are required in your case, let's say the insurance company say, hey, this injury that this person had, no way this could have been charged by this wreck. And so we need to get an expert to prove that your injuries were actually caused by this wreck. The law office is not going to be asking you for that. They are just going to go ahead. Let me see. I'm just trying to do what I've seen other people do. The law office is just going to go ahead and front the bill. The expenses in a case can get very, very high, very, very high, very steep, because everybody, they understand in these personal injury cases, oh, okay, I can charge a premium, because they know that it's necessary. Like the hospital and the doctors, they know that their bills is going to be necessary for the attorneys to have in order to move forward. And let me tell you something, they charge everybody. Let's just say anybody who's interested in your medical bills, if they are requested, they get a lick every time. So say the defense is requesting your medical records, your medical bills. They get to charge them, and they get to charge us, your attorney, if they're requesting them. So they get those fees up. They charge high amounts. As a matter of fact, the Georgia General Assembly has gotten involved in these medical bills and trying to lessen the burden. I mean, because it really shouldn't be that expensive for you to access your own medical records, which is essentially what we are trying to do on your behalf. What is this? We are accessing your medical records on your behalf. And so your representative or you should not be charged a premium to get your own medical records. It's kind of ridiculous and it's kind of out of control. But anyway, so that's just one example. And then I did mention the expert. If we have to hire an expert, we're not saying to you, oh, Ms. Smith, we need to hire this expert. Would you pay us? We go ahead and pay it. So all of those bills have to be fronted. And that wonderful complaint that I keep telling y'all about, that complaint, when that complaint is filed, we're not asking you. Complaints are very expensive. To initiate litigation in court is very expensive, and the attorney's not going to ask you, "Oh, it's $200 for this complaint. Would you forward it?" No, we go ahead and pay it. We pay for service on the complaints. The service service is expensive in itself, but then sometimes the defendant is hiding because they know, first of all, maybe they're shady in the first place, but then second, maybe this is their 10th car wreck in as many years. And they're tired of being sued or whatever. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe they didn't have insurance or whatever. And so they might hide. And so we have to hire a private investigator to try and track the defendant down. And then we have to try several times. Okay, the first time we tried, we couldn't serve them. Then we have to say, okay, well, maybe the address that we have is not right. We have to get a private investigator to find a good address for this person. And then we have to get them served. So there's just all kinds of issues that come up in cases that make them more expensive than they have to be. They're expensive from the jump street, but then there are other issues that make it more expensive than they have to be. There are certain reports that should be issued, like say, we do nursing home cases as well. So I had a case a couple of months back. This guy says that he was injured in a nursing home. The way they transported him in the wheelchair caused him injury. So number one, we had to sign him up. We had to get all his medical records. And then we send it over to a company that evaluates medical records. They'll put them on a timeline and they will kind of give you an opinion as to whether you can move forward. In the state of Georgia, you have to have a medical opinion from a doctor to say, and which makes sense because lawyers aren't doctors. And before you clog the court up with this case or with all these cases, the court kind of wants to know that there's a doctor who has signed off on this to say that there was actually medical malpractice. So this place will provide the opinion as well. And they just let us know straight up, there's no case. That was a couple of $1,000s later. So hear me, we got the case. We ordered the medical records. We're talking to this person all along. Which time is money. I just told you some people charge like $500 an hour for their time. So we're talking to this person, working up the case, get the medical records over to this expert who says there is no case here. And when that happens, we don't say, oh, well, you owe us back the $2,000. We say, well, we don't have a case and we eat the cost. So it's very expensive. And this just reminds me, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent here. Benjamin Crump did a very good interview with 60 Minutes. And he was the attorney who represented George Floyd's family in their lawsuit regarding his death. And I think they got a $9 million recovery. And the interviewer was asking him about that. And what he was saying was, you don't see all the cases that we don't win. We pursue a lot of cases on behalf of folks, and sometimes we get no money. And Benjamin Crump has light bills. He has to eat. He has a family, I think. He has to eat. He has to pay his investigators, his paralegals, his receptionists. He has to pay people. It takes money for the world to go round. And that's the same with me, you know, with our law firm. We eat a lot of costs sometimes, but we want to, if you contact our law office and we feel like it's a good case that we can help you with, if we can't help you, we can talk you through it to some extent. But if we can help you, we are going to see if we can help you. We'll investigate to the greatest extent possible. But if there's nothing we could do, that would be a waste of resources to continue to pursue the case. So all of that is taken into consideration. So just know that it's very expensive for us to take on your case. We believe in your case. We took it on. We think that we can help you. Lord knows we want to help you. And, you know, we have to make money too. So anyway, that being said, we don't make any money unless we're successful on your behalf. So we're not going to take a case that we don't believe we could be successful in. With that said, the fee is, oh Lord, did I curl my eyelashes? I think I did. I just want to do my lips because I just want some moisture on my lips. I hate being ashy, having ashy lips. So we talked a lot about litigation. Litigation commences when the complaint is filed. So once the complaint is filed, there's a line of demarcation. So generally, if you sign up with us, our fee is 1/3 of the recovery. So that first of all, we're going to make sure it's a good case, and we're going to make sure that all your medical bills are paid. That is compensation to you. You don't have to worry about any medical bills. We'll make sure that all of those are paid. Then we get reimbursed our expenses and all that stuff that we were talking about. Only in the cases that we win. In the cases we don't win, we have to eat those expenses. And so we get 1/3, usually, in most cases, 1/3 of the recovery. If the complaint is filed, the costs go up a little bit because now we have incurred additional costs and time and resources. So it's usually somewhere around 40% that the lawyer will charge if there's a recovery after the complaint has been filed. So it's usually 40%. That is the customary fee. You may be able to come to a different understanding with your lawyer about the fees in your case for whatever reason. Sometimes you may agree to pay the lawyer more. Sometimes you may agree to pay the lawyer less. Of course, that's going to be between you and your lawyer. But just know none of this stuff is written in stone, but that is generally the cost that it is. So that is how a lawyer gets paid. That is how I get paid. Let's go ahead and do these I really think that eyelashes are becoming my favorite part of this whole process. It's really fun. And now again, I'm thinking, did I curl them? But I know I curled them. I probably curled them twice. I think I curled them twice in this video. I noticed a couple things about these videos. One, I'm always in my nose. My sister has me crazy about making sure that my nose is clean. It's just like a thing for me. Because I remember when I was younger, she'd always point out, I'm just going to say bats in the cave. That's not the way that she said it. But she would, and constantly be on me about my nose. So to this day, I think I wake up checking my nose to make sure nothing's going on. And it's one of my pet peeves. I'm like constantly checking out my nose, especially when I look in a mirror, when I wash my face, anytime, anything. So, one of the indications that something is wrong with me is that there's stuff going on in my nose. Also, I notice I do this thing. I do that a lot. I see that in other people and I can't stand it. And I do it a lot. And then I do this, something like that. I do a lot. But anyway, when you are just being you don't realize these things about yourself. But I watch these videos back every day and it's very interesting what I got going on here. Yesterday, this was entirely too high. And then I just realized, you could just go back under. You didn't have to be walking around all day with your eyebrow like halfway up your eyelid. And now it went too low. I can feel it in my eyeball. See, over correction. But see, we're just going to keep practicing with this because practice makes what? Perfect, right? There's a TikTok where the man was like, no, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes something. I don't know. But I'm going to go with the practice makes perfect. Start from the outward corner, they said. Yep, that works. I don't know. It's just getting easier for me. Easy, easy peasy. Start with the outward corner, they said. Ooh. What is wrong with me? Okay. What is going on? Got this stuff on my eye, Lord. Oh my. Okay. See, I got my little shirt. I'll show you my shirt. Maybe I'll show you my shirt. It has a message on it. Why am I doing this? How do I clean this now? Oh no, we can't have this. No. And I want to tell you, this magnetic eyeliner is so friggin' hard to get off at night. Now I have it all the way up my eye. I know that's not perfect, but we're going to roll with that because we just do not have time to fool with this. I will go back in, dip in my eyeshadow and everything if I cared as much, but I really don't. I'm just doing my makeup for you people. I want you to understand my dedication because all I do is go sit at my desk for the rest of the day. So I'm not doing this for anybody. I'm doing this for you all. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Personal injury attorneys don't get paid unless you get paid. That means we're not going to really waste your time and take your case unless we feel like there's a recovery that you're entitled to. And if there's not, if you have not really been injured that badly, you can handle this case on your own. It's actually going to be just property damage. And actually, I have 4 of my friends who have contacted me and they've been like, you know what, Terry, this insurance company is giving me up the creek. Could you help me? I have written a letter and on my letterhead and called this person my client, which they are, even though I'm not getting paid anything. And we haven't really signed a contract, but you don't need to sign a physical contract to be a client. So I have written letters for folks, just advocating on their behalf. And then if it escalates anymore, maybe there is something there that I can get involved with. But now, why is this getting all on my face today? And when it hasn't before, I think I'm through fooling with you. I think I put too much on. So I have just like written letters for folks, but that's not an efficient use of my time. And usually the insurance companies are not going to mess with you like that because it's not efficient for anybody. So if it's clear liability, this other person was at fault and they have damages and you're being reasonable, all you want to do is get your car fixed. 99.9% of the time, you're able to resolve that on your own without the intervention of an attorney. But again, if you need me, just let me know. But if you are injured, if you are really hurt, the insurance company is messing with you. They're not going to give you what the case is worth. Oh, and let me say this. We have turned down cases where folks have been really injured. They're entitled to some recovery. And the insurance company is actually giving them the best offer. And the person comes to us and they're like, oh, the insurance company is giving us $25,000. And we investigate and we realize, oh, that's policy limits. They're actually giving you the best offer. Even though we could get involved and the person's actually begging us to get involved and say, please, please, please help me in this case. I want your help. And we can objectively see that the insurance company is actually doing the best by you. We won't take the case. We won't get involved because it just doesn't make any sense for you to lessen your recovery just to fight with the insurance company and still get the same amount at the end. There's nothing more. There's nothing more that you can do. And again, unless you know that it's Beyonce or Brandy or somebody who hit you, there's really not much more recovery that you can get, unfortunately. So we will, we'll just let you handle that on your own. Okay, ladies, women, men, let's take our hydration break. We should have been done this. You know, this is my feels good to get things done cup. Let's just take a little break to drink our water. Water is so important for you. I saw this TikTok about it, how important it is to make sure you are hydrated and every organ of your body is getting water. It's a simple thing. So let's start off. I start off my every morning drinking my water. So let's do it. Let's take a little hydration break. Okay, and you know what? It's real because my nose is really, really dripping. I have cause to be checking on my nose all the time. We're in the winter season here in Atlanta, Georgia. And my nose is just running like a faucet. So, all right. So that's how your lawyer gets paid. So we talked about how your medical bills get paid, how your lawyers get paid. And so really the lawyer is fitting the bill for everything. And if the case doesn't work out, I mean, it's absolutely no risk for you. Absolutely no risk for you. If the case doesn't work out, nobody's sending you a bill. Say, oh, we investigated this, it didn't work out. I mean, I've had big cases fall apart. Big cases because there was no insurance coverage and attorneys have invested a lot of time and a lot of money and that's the fear. Or let's just say, I know you've heard of cases where like a doctor has done wrong and the doctor has all the money and maybe he doesn't have insurance and he absconds, runs from justice and he's gone, and who's really left holding bag is the attorney. Now, we know you as the client, you were injured, absolutely. But we get right in there with you as your partner in pursuing these charges. So, and we take on the economic cost of doing this, and we would never ask you to, even though, I mean, you could be Beyonce. If Beyonce is hurt in a car wreck, the deal is for most personal injury attorneys, even though that Beyonce may have more money than the attorney has, but the attorney takes on the risk of the case. And Beyonce wouldn't have to pay for court filing fees or service fees or investigators or anything like that. The attorney takes on that cost and is reimbursed at the end. So, you know, I've never represented Beyonce. I don't know. I wouldn't look at her like that. Maybe she would offer. Maybe she would say, oh, I'll pay for this. But I don't think so because that's not the way that it usually works. So, but anyway, just wanted to let you know that that is how the attorney gets paid. If you have any questions on that, you please let me know. And like, comment, share, subscribe to this video, all that good stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with this trash man, Howard Hughes. Okay. Dangerously decrepit. Biographer Michael Drosnin provided shocking details about Hughes' lifestyle. He spent most of his time naked, his matted hair hanging shoulder length, and his nails so long they curled over. Hughes even stored his own urine in glass jars. His home was choked with old newspapers and used tissues, and he sometimes wore empty tissue boxes as shoes. Hughes was obsessive, however, about organizing the memos that he scribbled on hundreds of yellow pads. Hughes usually ate just one meal per day, and he sometimes subsisted on dessert alone. My kind of guy. I love sweets. His dental hygiene was abysmal. His teeth literally rotted in his mouth. When he finally died from heart failure in 1976, the formerly robust man weighed only 90 pounds. He had grown too weak to handle his codeine syringe and had turned himself into a human pincushion with 5 broken hypodermic needles embedded in his arms. Wow, I did not know all of this. Wow. Well, and I know he had a will issue and a state issue, and I think the book is leading up to that. So this is the makeup for today. I can kind of see the highlight from the concealer that I did, and I'm kind of liking the way that my makeup process is evolving. So, all right, that was it, you guys. That was how your lawyer gets paid. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will do my best to do so as well. Oh, I didn't put my jewelry over here. I would have put my jewelry on for you, but anyway, I'll talk to you all next time. Oh, I promised y'all my shirt. Let me show y'all my shirt. 1978. It was a good year. All right. You all have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.